So, hello, back in the house. Thank you so much for watching. If you're watching live, appreciate you. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're listening to the Acts on This TV audio experience on iTunes, thank you, whatever you're doing. You might be in the gym, you might be walking the dog, you might be on your way to an audition. If you are, hope you smash it. And I hope what we're going to talk about tonight is just going to help people look at one area of their lives a little differently. And the area we're talking about tonight on the book club is money. It's all about money. And like I just said to these guys in the little holding area before I went live properly, people just think that money, is a dirty thing. Who's ever been told to not talk about money before? I definitely was growing up. It's proper taboo, isn't it? I don't know why. It's like death. It's for Brits anyway. It's like death. The British people do not talk about death. They just don't. And they don't talk about money. And I don't know. It's just funny, isn't it? It's funny. We just don't do it. It's like, no, you can't talk about that. It's almost like it's rude. It's arrogant, etc. And I think in the acting industry, there's a real, what I see, if I'm just being brutally honest, it's just a real addiction to struggle, addiction to the stereotypical romantic idea of the starving artist. And my answer to that is, listen, real artists don't starve. They just don't, because they find ways to get their out there and make it profitable way before their big break as well. That's the thing. Actors think they've got to be starving and on the breadline until they get their big break, and they could go decades literally with no abundance in their life, because they're this is how actors should live. And I thought that for quite a long time when I was working for minimum wage in a shop 11 years ago, having been there a previous 10 years. And I thought, this is what all actors do. They all temp in shit jobs. They all temp as waiters and waitresses. None of them have got any money, because all the people I was associating with as actors didn't have any money. And that's because I was surrounding myself with people who didn't have money. The minute I started surrounding myself by successful actors or people who, hadn't had their big break yet, but were still doing stuff to generate income on their own terms, that started me thinking of ways that I could do that. And it just massively made me up my game. So hopefully the book we're reading tonight, Jen Sincero's How to You're a Badass Houser Master, a wealth mindset, we're going to do that for you guys. It's going to help some people. Yasmin's here. All right, Yasmin, good to see you. Anae's here as well. Very good evening, everyone. She says John Moody's in the house as well. Thank you for joining us. First of all, before we start, give me some yeses in the chat if you feel you deserve more money. We did this little exercise, didn't we, on the last book club, where I said, raise your left hand up in the air to where you think your expertise is in the industry, and then raise your right for how well you think you're being rewarded for that. And generally speaking, the gap between the two was massive. Because there's nothing sadder than unrewarded expertise. And everyone on here has got a shitload of expertise in the acting industry and just in other things as well. Let's not just relate this just to acting. You will have expertise in lots of other areas of your life that you're probably not being rewarded for. And generally speaking, it's not because life's against you and everything's so difficult. It's because you're probably just not taking enough action in that area to start monetizing it. So we're going to look at ways to do that tonight as well. Bobby says, you escaped from IKEA. Yeah, I've put on my Instagram story. Bobby, mate, I'll tell you what, money mindset, guys, right? Wow, I've been tested recently. I've just bought 2 sofas, 2 coffee tables, a rug. What else have I just bought? A dining table, 2 dining chairs. My money mindset is being tested refurbing this apartment. It's probably cost me, I don't even want to think about it, actually. It's definitely multiple 6 figures just to refurb it. But it's going to be beautiful once it's done. So it's all right. We're going to be good on that score. Steve says, I think someone needs to give me £1 million. I bloody deserve it. Well, you know what, Steve? You do deserve it, and the person who's going to give it to you is you. So let's look at this book and how we can do that. We looked at an intro to this book a couple of weeks ago. If you want to watch that, the replay of that, get yourself to youtube.com/Acts on This TV. None of these replays go up on actsonthis.tv, the website now. It's a brand new version of it. Thank you so much to everyone who's joined that as well. I've never seen so much growth in the community in terms of people signing up to the site in the 8 years I've had the site than I have had this week. There's never been as many people joining on a daily basis as there are now. So thank you for that if you're one of those people. If you've not checked it out yet, it's an incredible brand new site now, full of acting advice from the biggest names in the industry. Actsonthis.tv, go check it out. 2 of everything, says David. For the apartment, not quite 2 of everything, but definitely many things of everything. We've got, bought a lot of stuff. I can't wait to show you guys though when it's all actually set up. Finally, it's coming together. It never seemed like anything was ever going to, end when I've been doing this place up. But now I can see the light. So yeah, we looked at an intro to this book a couple of weeks ago. Go and listen to the replay if you want. Tonight we're looking at chapter 1 properly. And Jen just gives she's really frank in the way that she speaks about everything to do with personal development. Jen Sincero, which is why I like her. Doesn't flower it up. It's no bullshit. So we'll crack on with chapter 1. Don't know how much of this we're going to read, but I haven't read this a whole chapter yet, so I like it that way. It's a little bit of a surprise for me, but let's see what's going on. It's called Allowance. And she says, I've got a friend like this, actually. She says, I have a friend who has an extensive owl collection. Everyone's got a friend who has an owl collection, haven't you? Not actual stuffed owls, but owls on everything. Bags, tea towels, ornaments in their house. My next door neighbour, Linda, she's obsessed with owls. You know what to get her every Christmas because just get her a bag with an owl on it. It says, I have a friend who has an extensive owl collection. It all started when she innocently purchased a wooden carving of an owl in front of her mother one afternoon. Isn't that cute? Her mother in turn sounded. She said, her mother in turn sounded the family rallying cry. The news spread like wildfire, and my friend is now the horrified owner of owl potholders, owl clocks, owl earrings, owl slippers, I don't give a hoot t-shirts, brilliant, needle-pointed owl pillows, owl salt and pepper shakers, stuffed owls, owl soap on a rope. On birthdays, holidays and graduations, the dreaded flock descends, perching on her shelves, flapping up her wall space, peeking out from her closet. It's like a horror movie. I don't know how it got so out of control, she moaned one day as she unwraps an owl. Owl always call you friend cross stitch. That's brilliant, isn't it? Owl always call you friend. A cross-stitch wall hanging from her sister-in-law. This went on for years before she finally got up the nerve to put a stop to it, to thank them very much, but declare her world an owl-free zone from now on. Her friends and family were surprised, hurt, and indignant, and although the onslaught eventually stopped, they treated her like she was nuts. Fine then, if that's what you want, but they would go on. People love to tell you, the point in this is people love to tell you what you should and shouldn't want, regardless of how you feel about it, okay? Very, very true. I'll read that again. People love to tell you what you should and shouldn't want, regardless of how you feel about it. There's my decorator texting me. He wants more money. Oh, God. Brilliant. That came through at apt time. Even worse, we're so malleable. If we listen to them long enough, we'll tell ourselves what we should and shouldn't want, regardless of how we feel deep down. Who's ever done that? Who's ever been in a situation and they know, what they're getting isn't what they want, but they convince themselves that that's actually what they should want or that's what they deserve. They only deserve that, etc. Bobby says this woman sounds like a hoot. Very good, Bobby. I've definitely done that myself, though. So yeah, if we're not careful, we can stay stuck for years or even lifetimes in situations that cause us pain because we'd rather defend these non-truths than upset or disappoint anybody, our own inner critics included. We'd rather do what's expected of us than give ourselves permission, that's the key here, give ourselves permission to be, do, and have what feels good and right and awesome. For example, when I made one of my first attempts at crawling out of my lifelong financial stink hole, says Jen, I ended up crawling right back in it, even though I so desperately wanted out. My attempts involved a book entitled The Science of Getting Rich by an old-timey guy named Wallace Wattles. Anybody ever heard of it? This is so ironic, I didn't know I had this. Well, I didn't know I had this, I forgot I had it. My ex-girlfriend gave me that on CD. It's a bit dusty, innit? The Science of Getting Rich, Wallace D. Wattles. She's actually very rich. And it's brilliant. It's really, really good. I've got it on CD. Get the book. Seriously, it's absolutely brilliant. But let me just tell you a little bit about it. She says, I don't remember what inspired me to finally pick it up. It could have been anything. When my cat needed stitches I couldn't pay for and I was too grossed out to sew him up myself. Oops. When I lost my ability to turn my head to the left and decided it was time to start sleeping on a mattress instead of my futon from college. Mattresses are bloody expensive. Found that out in Next today. That time I accidentally re-gifted a pair of candlesticks to the same person who'd given them to me. And I vowed then only to buy presents from that moment forward. Anyone done that? Anyone re-gifted something to someone who actually gave it to them. Yasmin also said, I learned so much from Rich Dad, Poor Dad and Never Look Back. That book's on my bookshelf up there as well. Yasmin, a brilliant book. Definitely give that a look as well. So yeah, don't re-gift gifts that you've already been gifted. So she vowed only to buy presents from that moment forward. What I do remember, though, word for word, she says, is the very first sentence of this book, okay, by Wallace Wattles here. Because as I sat reading in my living room / kitchen / dining room / bedroom / guest room, because I guess it was just a one-bedroom studio flat she lived in, the first sentence of this book leapt out and spat in my eye, offending me to the core. And this might offend you lot to the core, right? I'm going to read it anyway. It said this: whatever may be said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. And you'll be like, fuck, that's so wrong, but let me explain. Leah, good evening. I'll read it one more time. Whatever may be said in praise of poverty, because there's a shitload said in praise of poverty, the fact remains that it is not possible to live a really complete or successful life unless one is rich. And you might be like, whatever, Wattles, plenty of people are poor and happy and feel complete and successful. The fact that I myself was poor, says Jen, and that I felt far from successful or complete as a result was apparently beside the point. The point was I'd spent an entire lifetime self-righteously insisting that being rich was overrated and gross, and I wasn't going to back down easily no matter how broke I had to stay in order to prove my point. I could handle the idea of making more money, but saying that one had to be rich, well, that was unacceptable. I was so disgusted that Wattles could be such a shallow ignoramus that I not only slammed the book shut and didn't pick it up again until years later, at which time it changed my life, she says, I also continued to barely make any money for those next few years. Instead, I kept toiling away, taking the odd low-paying job here and there, ring any bells, actors, writing articles, catering, babysitting, knitting, attempting to sell what I knitted, etc. As torturous and time-consuming and totally ain't getting rich anytime soon as my plan was, example, cost of yarn plus time it takes to knit a caftan, plus charging anything less than $5,000 for the caftan, equals seriously not worth it. It was still apparently more worth it to me to keep doing things that I was doing, than it was to work on my negative beliefs about money and change what I was doing. I was more attached to my truths about how evil money was, and to my beliefs about my ability and my right to make money, that I was to my desire to no longer shop for groceries at the dollar store. So she was holding on to those thoughts of money is disgusting, money is evil, money doesn't make you happy so tightly because she had no money. She cared more about that than she did about having a shit life where she couldn't afford decent vegetables and decent groceries effectively. In my seasoned experience as a grouchy broke person and my many years of coaching countless people on the topic of wealth, I've discovered that few things make people want to fight, vomit or ask for their money back more than telling them that one must be rich and successful, must be rich to be successful and complete. And here's a quote from Wallace's book. One of the biggest obstacles to making lots of money is not a lack of good ideas or opportunities or time, or that we're too slovenly or stupid. It's that we refuse to give ourselves permission to become rich. And I met lots of people like this, where they're like, my family's never been rich. Thus, it's like they're fighting against being wealthy because their mum and dad weren't wealthy, and thus there's like putting a glass ceiling on it going, well, my family aren't rich, so we've always been like that, as in like, this is how it's got to be. And I used to live a life like that in a way, myself a decade ago, and it's absolute bullshit until you start actually realizing that there's an abundance of money out there, you deserve it just as much as anybody else, and if you start taking action on getting it, and realize that actually charging for things that you can offer of value is not a dirty thing, and that as long as you are giving value, then you absolutely have to do that, because you can't always be charitable. It's lovely. Acts on this has got a great charitable arm to it, but it can't be holy. Let's give 100% profits away, because it would just cost me about £25,000 a year at my own pocket to run. It's impossible to do that. So let's just see what else you've got to say on this. But yeah, everybody just needs to start realizing that you've all got unique gifts and skills in or out of the acting industry that are of value that you can absolutely start making money out of. Permission is huge, says Melissa. Evening, Ross. All right, Lawrence. First time tuning in. Been catching your podcast. Thank you so much for joining us, Lawrence. We do this every week, mate. Normally on a Monday night. It's only on a Thursday night this week because I was having a floor put down in my new apartment, and there was a lot of banging going on. I thought the neighbours were going to completely kill me, but it didn't finish in time before the broadcast, unfortunately. Luciano, good evening as well. Luciana, sorry, not O. So it says, so let's carry on. It says, I see it over and over, the kicking and screaming about how, at the end of the day, what's most important is spending time with those you love, gazing at sunsets, rejoicing in the laughter of frolicking children, helping old ladies cross the street, and other things money can't buy. And I won't argue with that, but I will ask this. Why the hell does this come up when we discuss the making of money? When did it become an either-or situation? If you partake in the pursuit of wealth, it's not like you shall never again attend a family barbecue, hug a puppy, or tiptoe through the tulips. In fact, if you do it correctly, you'll be able to afford to spend even more time on such merriments and do it in style. Not to mention pay for the gas to put in your car to get to the family barbecue, buy the hot dogs, show up wearing clothes, and marvel at Uncle Carl's famous card tricks, unfettered by thoughts of your crushing debt, or how you're going to hit him up for a loan to cover your rent this month as soon as he's had a few beers. It's so fucking true. Yes, you don't need money to be happy, but you know what? If you can earn it, it gives you so much more leverage to do those things that make you happy and spend even more time on those things that make you happy. That's one thing I've learned over the years by creating multiple online businesses, is I can literally be in Next today buying my furniture for this new apartment, and I can have payments coming through from, on my phone while I'm out making money. It gives me leverage. I'm making money while I'm doing things that aren't directly related to making money because I've already put the work in, offering great value that people can then, find and pay for whilst I'm out doing the things that I need to do. And you can do all of those things, spend time with your family, look after your parents. We all owe our parents everything, or, I hope if you've had a family life like that where your parents are, I owe my parents absolutely everything. Totally got to look after them, you can do that way more by not having to go and do a shit job because that's all you think you deserve. Everybody arrives on this planet with unique desires, gifts, and talents. And as your journey through life, your job is to discover what yours are, to nurture them, and to bloom into the most authentic, gleeful, and badassiest version of yourself. In order to do this, as a human being in modern society on planet Earth, you must be rich. And let me clarify what I mean by rich, lest you think I'm saying your life is worthless unless it involves a mansion and a yacht. Rich is able to afford all the things and experiences required to fully experience your most authentic self. I was saying to Hop today, Shaw, my business partner, I get such a buzz out of, selling a membership to Acts on This, for £10, something comes through, a PayPal payment comes through or a Stripe payment goes, Ross, someone's just signed to the site, here's £10. It's not about the money. £10 isn't a load of money. It's like, it's such a buzz to go, wow, that person's going to get massive value. I'm going to affect their life at the core if they, act on the information Acts on This and actually go out and get an acting job that can really transform their life. And I'm making enough. I don't have to make millions. I love just sitting there in Costa Coffee, having a coffee. It's like £4. Doesn't mean I have to be on a super yacht in order to be rich. Rich is whatever rich is to you. But as long as it can afford you, you have enough money to afford the experiences that make you happy. And they can be things that cost nothing. As long as you're earning, enough to cover the cost of whatever that thing is. So while the amount of money you will need will depend on who you are and what you desire, ain't nobody riding for free. You can't go into Costa and say, well, I don't have any money, can I have a coffee for nothing? No, we exist in a world where, like it or not, nearly everything involved in your growth, pursuit of happiness and self-expression costs money. It's just it. In the acting industry, out of the acting industry, just in life in general. If you're an artist, as you all are, for example, your riches might go toward things like, if you're an artist and you paint, so it might go towards things like paint, canvases, brushes, a studio, trips to places that inspire you and fill you up with ideas, dinner out with friends and fellow artists to keep your spirits and energy high, hiring a PR firm, someone to walk your dog so you can work, a personal trainer and a DJ at your art opening, paying the admission fees to museums, buying healthy food, music to listen to, classes, glasses, and a beret if you're an artist. A lot of actors like having a beret. Mary Margaret Lyons says, so fucking true. Like it, Mary. All right, Lucy. Says Lucy. All right, Lucy. So Loretta is Lucy. All right, Lucy. How are you doing? Hi, Ross. You were very inspirational at the Manchester Actors Network evening last Thursday. Oh, Luciana, you were there. Amazing. Appreciate you coming down to watch. Awesome event. Yeah, Manchester Casting Social. They do it like every 3 months, I think, in Manchester. Just look up Manchester Casting Social on Facebook. It's an event I was a panel member at recently doing a little talk. Go check it out if you're in Manchester or you're in the north. So for actors, that's the same, innit? You know, we need to go to classes. You might need to buy equipment to do self-tapes. You might need memberships to Spotlight, to Equity, etc. It's all costing money. So, yes, you don't need money to be a successful actor, but you know what? It freaking helps. It's almost impossible without it, to be honest. If you're not a member of Spotlight, and if you're here and you're not a member of Spotlight, it should absolutely be one of the first things that you start looking at doing in order to propel your career forward, because without it, it makes it so hard to get access to any castings in this industry that are legit, bona fide and well paid. It makes it almost impossible to get an agent because your agent can't submit you to stuff without Spotlight. If you're brand new to the industry, you're not a Spotlight yet, that's absolutely what you need to work towards, but it's 145 quid a year. So no, you don't need money to make you happy, but if acting makes you happy and working as an actor makes you happy, you fucking need 145 quid to get on Spotlight. It's just the way that it works. Beret, channel your inner Frank Spencer, says David. And Lowry's here as well. All right, Lowry. So let's have a look. So you've just hung out at someone's lavish home, right? And this is an example she's giving of something. You've just hung out at someone's lavish home and left feeling like, I want my house wired for sound with speakers in every room too. How have I been living this long without it? Only to visit with a friend soon thereafter who's wearing the same clothes she wore in college more than 20 years ago, who's driving the same falling apart car and listening to the same crappy stereo because she feels these things are good enough. Why create more waste by throwing them away and upgrading? And you suddenly find yourself feeling dirty for wanting a big fancy stereo and speakers in your laundry room. Who's ever experienced that? You go and see something you really want, and then you feel like, oh God, but I should just be grateful with what I've got. And you should be, because gratitude is everything. But there's nothing wrong with wanting an upgrade in your life, whether that's material or not. There will never be a lack of conflicting opinions and information when it comes to any decision you make in life. And this is especially true when it comes to something as controversial as money. Depending on who we are raised by, the society that we grew up in, and the people we surround ourselves with, our minds can be littered with thoughts that have us believing everything from the critical importance of making big bucks to keep up with the Joneses and to existing on crumbs and sleeping on a camping mattress in order to be a noble, good person. Let me read that again. I must have missed a bit out there. Let me read that again. Where does it start? Depending on who we're raised by, the society we grew up in, and the people we surround ourselves with, our minds can be littered with thoughts that have us believing everything from the critical importance of making big bucks to keep up with the Joneses to existing on crumbs and sleeping on a camping mattress in order to be a noble, good person. So yeah, you can think either side of the spectrum. That makes more sense now. All that matters is what's true for you, which is why getting really good at listening to your intuition and your heart and following your happiness is critical, and which is why I want to drive home the following point. That is, if you allow yourself to make all the money you need to flourish and live out your desires, it does not mean you are or will become a greedy, selfish, earth-ruining bastard. It's pretty good, isn't it? Read that again. If you allow yourself to make all the money you need to flourish and live out your desires, it does not mean you are or will become a greedy, selfish, earth-ruining bastard. Which a lot of people think about when it comes to money. They're like, holy shit, money's not for me. It's dirty. Christina's in the house. All right, Christina, hope you're well. Eric James Dean has just joined as well. Definitely, that's good to see you here, Eric. Be better than good enough, says Lucy. Yeah, hell yeah. Good enough is great, but you know what? Step it up a little bit. So I've learned that so many times, so much, like refurbing this apartment now. There's things that I could have bought for it that are good enough, but I've always gone, you know what? If I can stretch to it, let's just get better than good enough so that I'm not buying good enough again in 6 months' time. I think if you buy good enough, you probably buy twice. If you buy better than good enough, you just buy once. And you can probably apply that to lots of areas of your life. A healthy desire for wealth is not greed. It's a desire for life. Think of money. I always think of money as like freedom credits. Because ultimately, that's what it is. The more of it I have, the more freedom I have to do the things that I want to do based on my desires in my time frame when I want to do them. Desire literally means, this is like Latin, it must be. Desire means of the Father. And whether or not you believe in God, your desires were bestowed upon you when you became your earthly self, along with other distinctive you-type things like your face and your personality and your affinity for needlecrafts, if you like that owl stuff from before. They're unique to you. They define the essence of who you are, and they act as the roadmap for your life. Your desires were given to you by the universal intelligence that created everything in existence with the express purpose of being carried out by you during your lifetime. And whether you believe in God, the universe, whatever, there has to be a higher energy source. In my opinion, it's like there's got to be something more like out there, something bigger. It's not a religious thing. It's just like an energy of whatever, and your desires have come about through that energy, through you. You're so unique. You are never, when you're here, I say this all the time, your DNA has never existed. It's never going to exist again when you die. And your desires are exactly just as unique as that. This is why you shouldn't focus on what other people have got. Don't focus on what other people have got, because you don't want that shit. You don't want the same things. It doesn't matter what they have. You don't want what they want. Focus on what you want. Go and get that. As a member of the human species, you are part of nature, and everything else in nature is provided with all it needs to carry out its desires to thrive and flourish. So why wouldn't you be? Nature is a fine-tuned, well-thought-out machine that is all about the fullest expression and perpetuation of life. Mother Nature gets an A+ in systems management and resource replenishment. She's got it down. It's when mankind get freaky and scared and greedy that nature is thrown out of balance. We pollute, strip, and destroy our dear pal, the earth, in horrifying and often irreparable ways when we act from fear instead of desire to collaborate with our planet and the creatures on it. We hoard resources because we fear there aren't enough to go around, or that we're unworthy unless we have more. We pollute our water, our air and land, and ravage our forests in order to cut costs or make lots of money because we're unconscious, insecure, and hence power obsessed. While it's impossible to live on Earth and not make some sort of impact, if we humans were all in harmony with our highest selves, feeding our desires instead of our fears, in the flow with Mother Nature, giving and receiving in a healthy, collaborative, conscious way, this planet would be in a beautiful shape. I just worship you as a deity, says Bobby. Thanks, Bobby. If the Father gave me this face, he's got lots of bloody answer for, says Steve. Man, I don't know why you're so harsh on yourself, Steve. Mental. All of nature is forever moving, growing, changing, reproducing, evolving. It's all the rage. Even the damn universe itself is expanding, literally physically expanding. Likewise, you are not meant to just survive. Everyone in here, no one's meant to just freaking survive, right? To stay stagnant, to settle. You are meant to keep growing and to thrive in every area of your life, right? You are meant to thrive. So you're not meant to survive, you're meant to thrive. Just like the tree that sucks up nutrients, water and sun, grows to its tallest, mightiest height and drops shit all over our yards that will forever will then spawn the next generation of trees, and the frog that miraculously grows from egg to tadpole to adult, you too are meant to reach your fullest expression of the you that is you, to inspire and birth awesomeness in other people and to use whatever resources you need along the way. We all have seeds of unthinkable badassery inside of us, yet only some of us will allow ourselves to grow. I think that's very, very true. Only some of us will allow ourselves to grow. You've got to be you. Allow yourself. If the desire is in your heart, says Melissa, it's meant for you. We are wired for increase and expansion and growth, she says. It's natural to desire increase. Time to get thoughts, beliefs, actions in alignment with it rather than our fears that cause shrinking. Here, Melissa. Boom. You should write a book, Melissa. Maybe you have. Luciana says, how would you go about getting time off for auditions while in a full-time job? Well, I would absolutely start, Luciana, hopefully the whole point of this book club and what we're going to look at this for another couple of weeks as well, is to get people thinking about their relationship with money and what they think they can and can't achieve when it comes to making money on their own terms. And I used to be stuck in a full-time job working 40 hours a week, hating it. absolutely hating my life, convincing myself that somehow I was going to get a break in the acting industry, sometime it was going to happen miraculously, I was going to attract this audition that was going to change everything, etc. Really, I was just addicted to the struggle. God, I look back now and I'm like, my God, how did I put up with that for like 11 years? Until actually one day, I had a few life, people know all about this, I spoke about this loads of times on these broadcasts, I had a few things happen in my life. My dad died instantly. I found out I got this eye condition, losing my eyesight, and I was like, shit, things have got to change. Something's got to happen very, very quickly. If I'm going to continue to do the things I've always done, I'm going to end up having the things I've always had, which were nothing at that point. No abundance, no privilege, no success, really. In all areas of my life, I wasn't invested in my health, I wasn't invested in myself, I wasn't invested in my career, I wasn't invested in other people around me, I wasn't hanging out with people who were inspiring me and motivating me. And one day I was like, right, fuck this. I've got to do things I've never done before in order to have things I've never had before. I started creating a side hustle, something on the side that I was passionate about. Doesn't have to be to do with the acting industry. If you're an actor, it can be something completely different. I know actors who make a shitload of money on the side baking, like they've got awesome skills when it comes to baking. And there's a girl I know who's now supplying multiple coffee shops in her area with pastries and cakes daily. She's set up a little company called the Baking Tray. And she will supply local cafes and stuff, baking on her own terms, making good money, which means she can then go and audition whenever the hell she likes. Her work's done in the morning, gets up very early, bakes all the stuff, delivers it by 10 a.m, boom. 10 till 6 is her own. Didn't start like that. Obviously, she had to start building that slowly. But it's ultimately about, yes, looking for a side hustle, what you can do, what you can offer, the value you can bring, and what people will pay you for. And generally, look for three things. Say, look, what are my core competencies? What am I good at? What can I offer? What am I passionate about? Because you can be good at something but not passionate about it. If you're good at something and you're passionate about it, when it gets hard, you're going to keep going. And then the third thing is, what will people pay me for? And when you can find the thing that fulfills all three of those areas, you've got something then that you're like, right, I'm passionate about this, I'm good at it, and people pay me for it. Boom, I'm going to start a side hustle on the side to earn enough money to take 1 day a week off that full-time job that you've got. On that full-time, that 1 day you've got from your full-time job, spend 12 hours that day working on to expand that side hustle until you can take 2 days off, 3 days off, and eventually after 6 months, 12 months, you can transition out of that job. That's what I did, creating Act on This, the TV Actors Networks, why you're watching this now, because I decided 8 years ago I was going to do that. I created a few businesses as well around voiceover coaching. I've got a clothing business now. Just started another business with a business partner of mine on omega oils and investing in your health and the balance of omega 3, 6, and 9 in your body. I'm big on health. I enjoy that, passionate about that. There's always opportunities out there if you look for them. If you don't look for them and all you're seeing around you and you're just focused on poverty and you're focused on having no money and being trapped in a job, all you're going to see is that job, man. Just all you're going to see. You've got to look for opportunities that are out there and say, look, what am I missing? What good is there in the situation I cannot currently see? What could I do? What can I offer? And I've seen more and more people do that. They're just doing it 3 or 4 years after they began talking about it, and they just should have taken much quicker action on it. If I had a nickel for everyone telling me to write a book, Melissa, get a book written, definitely. 100%. Get that book written. And this broadcast, someone said, was this supposed to be on Monday, not Thursday? Yeah, it is. Normally every Monday we do these broadcasts. So we'll carry on a bit more with chapter 1. The difference being, of course, that unlike the tree and the frog, right? Remember the tree and the frog taking all the nutrients up, or the frog from the tadpole to the frog growing? You are human, right? Unless your truth involves living in a cave on rent-free land, carving images of caribou on the wall with a pebble while dining on nuts and berries not owned by Monsanto, must be something American, that, pretending that you can reach great heights without the proper funds, is crazy. In fact, if you are here to become the grandest, most generous version of yourself, which you are, that's why you're all here, which you are, and if that costs money, which it does, it is your duty as a hallowed child of Mother Nature to get rich. Think about that. It's your duty to have money. Look at it like that. You deserve it. It's your freaking duty to earn money. Even if we could live on what's within reach, sitting under an apple tree next to an endless stream of fresh water full of fish with a cocktail waitress stopping by every couple of hours, eventually we get bored. seek new lands, we want to go for a bike ride or something. Humans are curious by nature. Our desire to keep evolving physically, mentally, and spiritually is part of who we are, which is why settling, staying stuck in a rut that you might be in your full-time job, 40 hours a week, you might hate it, but you're stuck there because it's freaking comfortable. It's part of who we are, which is why settling, staying stuck in a rut, treading the lukewarm waters of mediocrity or worse, is so excruciating. All of Mother Nature's creatures are designed to fully flourish before they drop dead. You will, like all living things, just like all living things, are meant to take up space on this planet. Shrinking back and denying yourself the things that bring you great joy, living under a cloud of guilt, refusing to make an impact, ain't why you're here. The earth is not here for us to pillage, but it is here for us to enjoy, care for, and appreciate. You living your fullest life and making all the money required to do so doesn't take anything away from anyone else. Any more than you refusing a ham sandwich because someone somewhere is starving helps them. It doesn't. And that's what people do. Like, money's dirty, I don't deserve it. I feel guilty if I have money because they don't have money. Well, it doesn't help them. You know what does help them? You fucking earning money so you can give them some. It's your duty to do that, to earn money so you can be more abundant and help more people. Staying broke because you fear it's gross to be rich, or that you don't deserve money, or that you getting rich somehow prohibits someone else from getting rich too, is all rooted in lack. Lack is the state of being you're in when you believe you're in need of, when you believe that your desire doesn't exist, when your outlook on life is a glass with a hole in the bottom as opposed to a glass half full. A lack mindset believes that there's not enough to go around. So many actors have this. They won't tell. A guy, for instance, won't tell a female who's not his competition about a potential part in a TV show that he's just been for as another character that she can't possibly get because she's female. I still see that. I can't tell anyone about it because what if they get a part in it after I've told them about it and I don't get the part that I've been for? It's going to make me feel insignificant and like shit. If you do that, you're a loser. You're an absolute loser. Nothing I felt better about the other day than telling a girl about a comedy that I'd just been for. I didn't know if I'd got the part for it or not. But I was like, listen, I know there's casting still going on Wednesday for this female part. Here's the email address of the casting director. Email them. She sent me a message back 2 days later going, Ross, thank you so much. I've got an audition with the casting director on Wednesday. She's not my competition. If it was a guy and there was another role in it that that he could go for, I'd have offered up that information. Me getting a job does not stop you getting a job. Anyone else out there getting rich does not stop you getting rich, and you getting rich doesn't stop anybody else getting rich. If you don't live from that place of abundance, there's enough for all of us, it's probably why you're not abundant. You're living from the scarcity mindset, a place of lack, a fixed mindset, like everyone's my competition in this acting industry. Fuck everyone else. It's all about me. And that's why you're not probably getting opportunities you could be getting by helping other people, because they should remember that and repay that favor back to you. Where do they get up to here? Nothing in excess is healthy. Gluttony is just as devastating, though, as is anorexia. You denying yourself your heart's desires is not noble. It's a waste of some damn good desires. And it denies the world our only opportunity to bask in more of you. So you not getting rich and doing what you want to do with your life just denies the world the opportunity to bask in more of you. I got cast in a film that's to be shot, and I think I may have gotten 2 of my friends' parts in it. Bobby, boom. You know what? When your friends get an opportunity that they think could help you, they're going to give it you back, mate. Amen to that, says David. Definitely. If you sometimes feel hopeless because of all the pain and suffering in the world and worry, who the hell am I to get rich when others are starving and being bombed out of their countries and enslaved? Know this. One of the best things you can do is get rich. Because of the way our world is structured, money and power are intertwined. So if you want to help make a positive change, money is one of the most effective tools you can use to do it. Yes, you can donate your time, organise, protest, lobby, alert the masses, post incense rants on Facebook, but you'll be much more effective if you have the energy, options and freedom that come with not being in financial struggle, not to mention the resources to spend however you see fit. There's a reason Mark Zuckerberg, now being stupidly wealthy, can say, I'm going to spend $35 billion committing to eradicating disease from Earth in his lifetime. Not just any, like all. He wants to erase all disease on Earth in his lifetime. He couldn't do that by being self-righteous, holding a placard up after signing on at the job centre saying, oh, this isn't fair. Everyone should have the same. You know, it's bullshit. There's only so much protesting can do. You know, if you've got a shitload of money, you can do way more. You can go in, people listen to you, you can buy things. We have got to start believing abundantly, says Melissa. We will not miss out on anything that's meant for us. My success can open the doors to yours, she says. 100%. Definitely. You cannot give what you do not have. So if you want to help others, you have to take care of yourself first. This is why they always tell you on airplanes that you have to put your oxygen mask on before you help someone else with theirs. They have to remind us of this because it's counterintuitive. Unless you are a sociopath, it's your nature to help, okay? Few things light up the human heart like helping, bringing joy to others. So trust in the fact that when you're well and you're taken care of financially, you'll be even more poised and inspired to spread the love to other people. Our world now more than ever needs as many compassionate, creative, big-hearted, conscious people to be as rich as possible so we can turn this mother around. I mean, imagine if you and all the people you love and respect had ass loads of money, and if they felt grateful and empowered by it, not icky and guilty, and if they could afford to spend it on themselves and others and on saving our planet in ways that uplifted everyone involved. Please take a moment to really envision the specifics of this as it pertains to yourself and the spectacular people in your life. Take them all one by one and imagine how they'd feel, who they'd become, what they'd spend their newfound wealth on. If your people are anything like mine, she says, it makes the whole concept of being rich something worth writing a love song about. There is no such thing as too much awesome, she says. So true. I told you, didn't I? I went out with a few guys once. A friend of mine introduced me. They're super wealthy people. And it was really interesting. We went out to this bar. It was like a nightclub, actually, in LA. And it was really interesting seeing two types of people out that night. There were the people living in kind of scarcity, because this was quite a trendy bar, but you could tell people who had basically spent their entire week's wages getting a dress or a shirt if they were a guy, going out to this bar and spending the rest of their money on champagne and try to, like, escape their lives, or, like, it's also fake, basically, just trying to, you know, bag somebody who was rich that night, or it's pretty seedy type stuff going on. That was one half of the club. There was a nice restaurant in the club as well, though, and we were sat there. Every single one of these people round the table, there was 6 of them. There was a guy called Adam who had just sold a hedge fund for $110 million the day before. There's a guy called Mike who runs a protein supplement company in America, hugely successful, was doing about $2.8 million a month in protein. There was just some other businessmen. Around the table, they was getting on for like $500 million of wealth. I was sat there completely in awe of these guys' conversations because none of it was about money. None of it was about making more money. None of it was about gross things like cars and houses and watches and all the bullshit you see on Instagram. Every single person around the table was drinking water with a piece of lime in it, no alcohol. And they were talking about getting a fund together with friends of theirs to create a renewable energy fund to help just the earth, stop polluting the earth. They were also talking about mining other planets for metals that didn't exist on Earth, and what that could bring to industry and stuff. It was just the talk was literally out of this world. I was like, oh my god, like that was a realization for me. You know, insane amounts of wealth. It's not a dirty, horrible thing. The impact you can make on the planet, not just your friends and family. The actual planet is freaking mental. There is no such thing as too much awesome. Like, the more you have, the more you can do with it. She says, we're going to finish this chapter off. She says, I'm going to go ahead and say it out loud. Join me, won't you? She says, I love money. There's no need for explanations or apologies. I also love pizza, and I can say that without tacking on a bunch of disclaimers. I love pizza, but, you know, it's not everything. Spending time with people you love and being of service are important too. Funny, innit? You don't say that. Oh, I just love coffee. But it's not everything. You know, looking after your friends and family, that's more important than coffee. It's fine to say that you love something. It's absolutely fine. So let's take back the word money and decriminalize it, everybody, right? Because until you do, you aren't going to be terribly motivated to let yourself make very much money. I've been broke and sad, rich and sad, broke and happy, rich and happy. And I'll take the rich version over the broke version all day long, because money gives you freedom and options. And I really love freedom and options. Who doesn't? While we're at it, let's go ahead and decriminalize rich people, shall we? Contrary to popular belief, the rich are just people. They're not intrinsically filthy, nor do they deserve to be killed, eaten, or robbed. We live in a society that makes a sport out of judging people with lots of money, and we know that's true. So regardless of how you feel in your conscious mind about the rich, i.e. some of my best friends are rich, it's important to be aware of any negative beliefs you may be harbouring deep down. Of course, there are some rich people who totally suck, but some of them are awesome, just as some poor people totally suck, and some of them are awesome. The problem is that it's socially acceptable to roll our eyes when someone drives by in a Bentley or talks about how many dollars they made this year. Meanwhile, it's part of normal conversation to complain about how broke you are, to announce that you got your boots for a mere $5 at a Goodwill store. Snobbery works in both directions. If you're rich, thinking you're better than those who aren't is as equally lame as being broke and thinking you're better than those who are rich. Start paying attention to any disparaging comments that may fly out of your mouth or your mind when it comes to rich folk, because if you plan on becoming one of them, it's going to be a whole lot easier if you actually approve of who you're becoming. Take a deep breath, trust your desires, and embrace the fact that your quest for riches is a quest to become more of who you truly are. We don't all desire to live a huge fancy life or solve world hunger. That's not what this is about. It's about letting yourself be the biggest badass you can be, whatever that happens to look like for you. You're meant to thrive, and by thriving, you automatically help others to thrive too. Think about it, just standing next to someone who's being totally who they are, who is lit up by life, who goes for it fully, who believes anything is possible, who is excited to be in on the adventures of spinning around on this planet, who allows themselves to look stupid, to fail, to succeed, to be rich, to be generous, to basically be, do, and have all the things and experiences that make them the most themselves. It makes you feel like you could go out and flip over a car, right? So why not be that for someone else by being the most you that you can be? If you're a political activist, be as active as you can possibly be. If you're a musician, rock on with your bad self. If you're an attorney, fight for what's right. If you're a stay-at-home mum, raise awesome kids with great manners. It all counts. It all contributes. We're equally vital. It's not a competition. There will be no room for all of us to do all the same things the same way, which is why we each desire to fill our own special spot in the world with our own special selves. Understand that your gifts, talents, and desires were given to you because you are meant to thrive and share your you-ness with the world as only you can. Please, oh please, allow yourself to get as rich as you need to be in order to bestow upon us your greatness. Boom. End of chapter 1. So ultimately, the whole point of that, we'll get on to chapter 2 in a couple of weeks, is again, just like last week, to kind of clarify what's going on in your head with where you're at right now, whether you have what you want. I mean, just give me some. If you feel you've got enough and you don't ever need any more and you couldn't do any more good with any more money, let me know in the chat. Or if you feel that, if I had more money, I could do more stuff. I could have more impact in the acting industry, out the acting industry, help more people, create projects that could employ other actors, take time off my shit job to write a script that could tell a story that could change the world in some way. If you feel that you could benefit from more, let me know in the chat here on Facebook or on Twitter. Sorry for not looking at Twitter. I have my Kindle in my hand, so I couldn't see everything that's going on Twitter. Ultimately, I just want people to realise it's not dirty to want more, and it's fine to go, right, you know what, I'm going to make a decision where I'm actually going to create something, an opportunity, or my own thing, or go and pursue, another aspect of whatever I'm passionate about to make more money, because then it's going to make everything else in my life easier. Particularly with your acting. The minute I got out of that shit job I was doing 40 hours a week in, and I had more time to invest in myself and to go to auditions, like my life changed so much. I'm so passionate about people setting up side hustles. Or if you're like, well, I have nothing to teach, I can't create a side hustle, go and watch. I can't remember what episode it was of my vlog. I teach people how to go out, buy things from pound stores in the UK, like the dollar store in America, how to search via your smartphone for things that sell for way more than $1 on eBay, or £1 on eBay. And I taught on my vlog in one episode how you could make, I think I made about £29 or something in about 25 minutes by flipping stuff that I could buy cheap and sell for more online. At its most basic, do that. This guy called Steve Connolly in the Acts on This community who started doing that. Every time I see him, he's like, Ross, I bought 5 Blu-ray discs from the pound store for £1 each, sold each of them for £6 on eBay. Boom, £25 profit. Because it costs 70 pence to post that thing out. People always give me excuses. Oh, I can't eBay stuff because postage is so expensive. eBay fees are so expensive. When you're selling something for £6, they're not. You know, get something that's light. I was showing people how you could make £5 on a tube of glue from the pound shop, branded, decent glue that was £6 everywhere else. I found 10 tubes of it in the pound shop for £1 each. You know, could have made £50 on selling tubes of glue. And it's not glamorous, and it's not exciting that much in terms of going, I'm passionate about glue, but you're probably more passionate about sitting at home with a coffee, listing 10 items on eBay and making £50 than you are working a full shift serving dickheads in a bar. I would be. Definitely. Ine says, embracing abundance requires generosity of spirit. We absolutely depend on each other. Definitely an A. Here, here. Lorna Sales in the house. All right, Lorna. Hope you're well. I love money. All together now, says Melissa. Yeah, you can say it. Because think of the other things you say you love, you know? Oh, you know, I love sitting in the sunshine, but it's not everything. Looking after your parents, that's more important. You know, being, there with your friends, that's more important. It's fine to say you love something, you know? Rob Foster in the house as well. Rob Foster, only one of the UK's best sound engineers / voiceover artists. If your kids watch CBeebies, Kate and Mim Mim, Rob is Mim Mim. All right, Rob Foster, hope you're well. Money did lead me to getting my start as an actor. My first classes weren't cheap. Shit isn't cheap in life, Bobby. The amount of things I've realised now that like I'm spending in this apartment, I'm like, wow, so expensive for. I tell you what, taps surprised me. Taps are very expensive. I love money, says Mary Margaret Lies. Good for sure. One day I'll have more, and hopefully I'll do something good with it. Not hopefully, Bobby. We're gonna do it, man. Don't hope for stuff. Take action and make more money. John says, yeah, money I can do with what I get on a normal level of life. However, to create more, sometimes I do feel I need more. You do, John. Just do. 100%. You can have more, mate. So ways to make money. The internet has changed the game for so many people. If you have a passion. I mean, trust me, I learned this through creating a community for actors. If you're passionate about something, I was passionate about acting, you'll find thousands of other people who are passionate about it. It's 9,000 people in the Acts on This community now. 16,000 on Twitter, 4,000 on Instagram. Combined, that's like 35,000 people probably that are all passionate about it. If you say you're passionate about, I don't know, anything, it could be like, I'm passionate about Marvel. I say this to Petch all the time, a cameraman. I'm like, he's really passionate about Marvel. I'm like, how many people are passionate about Marvel? If you set up an online community, a membership site, where you guys get together, talk all about Marvel stuff, share stuff, make Marvel stuff. I don't know, belong to a community where everyone's passionate about Marvel. You have Marvel meetups where you all dress up as Marvel characters. I don't know what it would be. But people will pay to be a part of that. Because it's cool. It's fun. Look at Comic Con. People are interested in comics. They've created the biggest events in the world where people all dress up as their favourite comic book character, go and pay £50 for a ticket or whatever it costs to do various things, and how much money's made it stuff like that, I don't know. But that probably started in someone's bedroom as an idea with them going, I like Doctor Who or whatever stuff you do at Comic-Con. There's everything in it. You will have passions in your life. I know a woman who makes a fortune out of a knitting club, an online knitting club where basically every month she sends out a pattern. It's in a box. It's a pattern of a knitting thing. She sends out the wool required and a couple of other little knitting thing goodies. It's about £30 a month, but it means everybody once a month doesn't have to think about what they want to knit. They create something that's cool. They get the pattern for it. They get all the wool. It's dead easy. They sit at home. They love knitting and they want to be part of the community. The internet has changed the game for people. You've got to start looking at what you could create, that only you can create. And you might say, the people are already doing that. There's loads of competition, but I promise you, I could think that. How many people are doing stuff in the acting industry? A shitload of people, but you can deliver it in only a way you can deliver it. That's your unique gift. I think I'm pretty good at putting complex things across in quite an easy to understand way. I think that's a bit of a unique gift of mine. I can take something that's pretty complex and break it down for people so they understand it. I can do that in a way no one else can do it. People can do it similar, but my way is my way. Some people resonate with that, some people won't. But you focus on the people who do, and you can create a community, you can create a business out of that. It ultimately helps you live on your own terms, and with that, make a shitload of positive impact. You don't have to be, that's in this community at some point. I hope it's not really right now, but I hope, will be profitable. That's only going to help me do more. I'm going to be able to pay for better guests to come in and do features with me. I'm going to be able to give more to charity. I'm going to be able to create, websites cost a shit ton of money to run when they get big. They don't start off costing much money, so don't let that put you off. But when they grow, big after 8 years, then yeah, it certainly costs. But there's things that you guys can do if you begin to believe that you ultimately, you deserve more money in your life, and it's exciting when you go out and you make that first £5. It's not a lot of money, but my God, the satisfaction of that is worth way more than earning your £7 an hour or whatever you're doing in the job that you hate, making someone else's dream come true by earning them all the money. But yeah, just remember, I think the thing for me is that I love money. It's fine to say it, as you would say I love pizza, but you'd have to caveat that with loads of excuses about, it not being everything. So I would recommend getting the book, man. I think the book is like £5. That's not a lot of money. Jen Sincero, You Are a Badass at Making Money. I'll show you the cover of it so you can spot it in Amazon. You get it, I think Kindle, it was like, I've got it on my iPad here, but it's still like through the Kindle app. I'm sure it's like £5, something like that. I think the paperback won't be much more. You're a Badass at Making Money, Master the Mindset of Wealth. There it is, boom. Can't miss that, can you? Bright green. For those in the audio experience, bright green cover. Thank you for listening. So what do you reckon? What are you going to do? Anyone got any ideas? Anyone got any questions about starting something, starting a side hustle, starting an online business, marketing an online business? Maybe you've already got one and you're struggling with it. You don't know how to market it, how to brand it, what to call it. I don't know. Any questions? Ask me them now, or you can drop me an email, ross@actonthis.tv, anytime you want. Will absolutely give you as much advice and help as I can, because I'm abundant. I can do that. It's fine. I'm not going to charge you for it. It's like, if I can help you make some money, I'll help you make some money every day of the week. And we'll be back on next Monday for, it's going to be, what is it next Monday? Is it Motivation and Mind Hacks, isn't it? So we're going to do we'll do like a coaching session on some area of personal development that's going to help you as an actor and as a human being. And then we'll look at another chapter of this book the week after. We'll keep on this book for September. There's a lot in this book. And then we'll start a new book in October. So what do you think? Give me some comments. Do you think you've got a good relationship with money? Do you think it needs to be better? Do you think you've maybe been taught that money is bad throughout your life? Society's maybe drilled that into you. You don't like talking about it. For me as an actor, you know what I used to hate doing? This is why just having an agent is great. They deal with all the money. I used to freaking hate quoting for stuff. When I was at uni, I was at drama school, and I was getting corporate gigs, like presenting gigs. They say, what's your day rate? Oh, feel horrible. And I know for a fact I would underprice myself by hundreds of pounds, because I know now I know about the industry. I know they had a much bigger budget for these things because the going rate was way more than what I was charging. I go, oh yeah, just 100 quid. It should have been like 400 quid. But I hated talking about money because, again, I was like, I don't know if I deserve it, Who am I to ask for 400 quid to come and present a little video for the day? Well, you know what? Wake up. That's the going rate. And if you don't value yourself and you don't, you've just got to never underprice yourself. Always value what you bring to the party. And yeah, go quote a decent quote, and then if they say they can't afford it, then come down. Don't go in at super cheap because you feel that you don't deserve the money. I definitely used to do that. David says, recommend any way of getting decent website build cheap. So David, yeah, I mean, what I had to do, mate, it depends really. You know what? If you don't want to learn the skills of building a website, that's the cheapest way, but it requires time. It's not going to cost you anything because you don't have to pay yourself. I told myself, you could easily learn how to install WordPress and start building a WordPress-based site, which is a fantastic platform for building a website. In a couple of months, you'd have to sit down and, again, work, man. Watch videos. You can learn how to do anything on YouTube. If you're like, how do I do something? just ask YouTube. Seriously, someone will have put a tutorial up about it. You can learn all about it. If not, mate, Fiverr.com. Fiverr, FIVERR.com. You can get people to create websites for you on there, very cheap. Like, you could, they set up a WordPress site probably for about £20. If you want them to do design for you and logo design and set up more of a shop and infrastructure, you could set up a Shopify shop with them for about £105, I think was the last one a friend of mine was charged to set up. So yeah, check out Fiverr.com. It's a great place. If you want anything doing, you know what, you want a voiceover for your website and you're like, I want to get someone to do that quite cheap, and you don't have hundreds of pounds, or you want someone to design you a logo, or you want someone to do, anything for you. Within reason, it's cheap. Stuff starts off at literally £5 on there, or $5. That's why it's called Fiverr.com. Everything used to be Fiverr. Stuff's gone up a little bit in price now, but yeah, check it out, David, for sure. Dawn says, great reading, Ross. Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone. Yeah, keep forgetting it's Thursday night, Dawn. Thank you. Appreciate you being here. Massively appreciate you watching. Luciana says, proofreading or children's entertainment. Could I make a lot of money through this? If you put the children's entertainment, God, yeah, depending on ultimately how good you are at your craft, and then it's about getting your message out there. If you have an existing business, I can't tell you the power of Facebook advertising. It's incredible. And it's way, way, way underpriced right now. It won't be for long. I reckon in a year to 2 years' time, Facebook advertising is going to be quite expensive. But you can get so specific with your target audience, so you're not wasting any money either showing your advert to people who have nothing to do with your product. If you were into the children's entertainment industry, what you could do is you could create a Facebook ad based on the service that you offer. Facebook has an ungodly amount of data on everybody. You could go, right, I want to advertise this advert to, I don't know, you might go 21 to 40-year-olds, maybe that's a demographic where they're going to have young children. I want to do it for 50-mile radius of this postcode where you live. And I'd like to target everybody who has liked these particular Facebook pages that might be on children's birthday parties, entertainment, clowns, bouncy castles, I don't know, etc., etc. I want to, if you had a website, you could say, I want to retarget anyone who's visited my website. You can put something called a Facebook pixel on your website, which knows when a person's visited your website. When they go back on Facebook, it will show your advert to them to go, hey, notice you were on our website before. Need any more information on children's entertainment? We do parties, all this sort of stuff. Give us a call. You can just be insanely focused on who you show your adverts to. And when you show your adverts, literally down to the time of the day, the radius of wherever you want to be, people who have a disposable income of X amount, people who work for X company. It's absolutely insane the power that gives you. So yeah, depending on what you've got to offer, you could definitely make a lot of money out of children's entertainment. Proofreading is a very specialist subject, but yeah, definitely. Do you know what? Offer stuff like that on Fiverr. I will proofread 1,000 words for £5 or whatever you would charge. I would proofread 250 words for £5, whatever you need it to be. And then people just buy chunks, go, right, well, this is a 1,500 word document, so I'm going to buy 6 lots of this, so 30 quid. Read a 1,500 quid document, a 1,500 quid document, a 1,500 word document. Yeah, get on, because Fiverr.com, you don't just buy stuff from services, you can offer services. So yeah, that would be cool, definitely, get on that. There's always, seriously, there's always ways to make money. You just think it's hard right now. Everybody does, but there's an abundance of it out there. Melissa says, having a healthy, positive, abundant money mindset and relationship with money is essential for any side hustle idea to work and be profitable. I see it so often in my practice. People starting out, yeah, true, man, but sabotaging their success because of mindset around money and deserving. Super true. Definitely. But everybody's got so much opportunity online now. The game has changed. The internet has changed the game for so many people. Right, we've gone 10 o'clock, guys. I'm going to love you and leave you, but just think about it. Let that ruminate, so whatever the word is, in your mind overnight. If you're in the States, Richard, if you're still here from Miami, you have a great afternoon, mate. If you listen on the audio experience, appreciate you all so much. Please subscribe, tell your friends, leave a review. That would mean the world to me. I don't want anything back, don't want any of your money. Do this totally for free every week, every Monday night, normally Thursday tonight, but Monday nights 9 p.m. UK time. Please join me next week. We're doing this again, and do check out the new actsonthis.tv website. I don't know if everyone has been on it yet. My God, it's the best version. Let me just bring up a web browser. The best version of the site there has ever been. I've rebuilt this from the ground up. Oh, that's gone black for a second, but wait a second. Hopefully, you'll still be able to hear me. Let me just bring up my actual browser. Is it here? Can you see that yet? I'm going to try this again, guys. One sec. It always does this if I'm not careful. Where are you? There you go. Boom. Oh, this is actually something I'm doing for guys. This is something I'm doing for free. I didn't realize this page was up. This is something I'm going to be giving away completely for free. People were asking me about Twitter and who they should be following on Twitter, because Twitter's got very, very noisy recently in terms of there's just like, obviously it's super popular. The acting industry is quite crowded. I'm creating a list of the 50 casting directors. Might not be 50 actually. I'm doing like a really select list. It might be about 36, 37, but I've got this test page up here. It's 50 casting directors you must follow on Twitter. It's going to tell you, it's going to show you a picture of them. It's going to give you a very simple follow button. You just click it, you'll instantly follow them. It shows you what they've recently cast, what they're known for, and I'm also going to put an IMDb link on there for you as well. Completely free, just like giving that to people because it's going to help. It really is going to help. If you're not contributing to the party on Twitter and getting involved with the the conversation on there, you're missing out. Like seriously, it's where the acting industry hangs out. It's like a cocktail party. Everybody is invited. So I've started that off. I'm going to be doing that over the weekend, and I'm going to start sending that out to people. You probably just have to drop your email into a little box, and I'll just send it you automatically as a list. It's interactive, so you can just click on that, and it'll do all the work for you. But Acts on This itself, the main website, totally available and over on actsonthis.tv now. The new version has launched over on what was the old one. Actsonthis.tv. Get yourself over there. Get a membership. I can't tell you the amount of stuff that I'm going to be putting on this website between now and the end of the year is insane. So many new features. I'm going to be editing one with Haisha Mystery, actress from Hollyoaks, over the weekend. And then I've got some awesome features coming up with writers in the industry. A brand new, well, not quite brand new, but a brand new, really up-and-coming agent who I think is going to make big waves, particularly in the northern territory, in the north. I've got a great agent coming on talking about plans of what he's doing with a brand new agency in Manchester, which I'm really excited about. They've also got an acting school as well attached to that as well. I'm going to be talking to them about that. I'll say awesome writer. And loads of other casting directors as well. I realise actually there's lots of casting directors who I need to revisit and do brand new features with. So they're all coming on the site over the next few weeks. But get yourself over at actsonthis.tv, get your membership. There's already 25 interviews on there with the biggest names in the industry. If you go on the homepage and click on just above the latest features thing here, you'll see this blue click here link. If you click on that, it takes you through and it'll show you just some of the things that are on the site at the moment. Podcasts. Oscar-winning Rachel Shenton, we've got her on there. Downton Abbey's casting director Jill Trevellick, my agent Jane Hollywood, Line of Duty casting director Kate Rose James, Doctor Who casting director Andy Pryor, the director of Broadchurch and a brand new drama with Sheridan Smith called Clean Break, Lewis Arnold, Poldark creator Debbie Horsfield. We've got other casting directors like Victor Jenkins, cast Humans, Peter Hunt, cast Hollyoaks, Dan Hubbard, just cast incredible for TV and films, Daniel Edwards, cast Line of Duty, Nikki Bly, cast Mrs. Brown Boys. Just like seriously so much stuff. And you don't need an abundance of money to join that either. I mean, that's like £7.50 a month. It's less than, 2 coffees would cost you that. A coffee chain, to be honest with you. It's so cheap. Actsonthis.tv, get yourself over there. Grab your membership. Join the bloody community. Awesome. Gonna love you and leave you. I'll just check the comments one last time. See what's going down on Facebook. Jay. All right, Jay. Jay's here. Jane Jr. in the house. Great show. Real scene. I saw you shoot recently, Jay. Love that. Very inspiring. Thanks so much, Ross. My pleasure, mate. Sophie, thank you for being here as well. Bobby says, you put me in a great mood as usual, Ross. Much love. Thank you, Bobby. Appreciate you, mate. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Lucy. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you, Mary. Love the new website, says Mary. Mary, thank you. Love you for being part of it. And you can say that. Love the new website. But remember, website's not everything. Looking after your family. We don't say that, do we? You don't say I love anything else, but I love money without guilt. You know, everything else, you don't feel any guilt at all. People say I love money. Oh, can't love money. Money's not everything. It's bullshit. Get out there. Just start thinking of ways you can make more money, and you will attract more into your life. I know it sounds a bit like airy fairy and a little bit new age, and I'm all very scientific. I'm not about new age kind of like woo, you know, woo woo stuff. But honestly, you really can block yourself by living in a mindset where you feel and you believe money is hard to come by. When you believe something, a belief is you saying to yourself, I am certain that, whatever that thing is. So if you say, I believe I'll never have money, I believe money is hard to earn, ultimately you're saying, I am certain that money is hard to earn. I am certain that I will have no money in the future. But guess what's going to happen? You can have no money in the future. So get out there, do something great, make some money. I'll see you guys next Monday. Like I say, do anything for you at all. Get over to actsonthis.tv or email me, ross@actsonthis.tv. More than happy to help. Thank you for being here. Until next time, bye for now.